Testing. Part 173, 316. Testing. Testing. Alright, part 173, 316. Chirogenic liquids of the cylinders. General kinds of cylinder may be loaded with this chirogenic liquid colder than designed to the temperature of the packaging cylinder, and cylinder may not be loaded with any of the material that be combined with the chemical with the residual chemical packaging produced unsafe for the condition of the jack of the cover. The insulation for the cylinder, the UV, the transport for flammable chirogenic liquid made with the seal of the valve, fitting made with aluminum, the internal rubbing and braiding, aluminum parts made with the contact of the action chirogenic liquid, the form of the made the cylinder and transport oxygen for the chirogenic liquid used in part of the association anions for the according to the ASTM serum B580 with the aluminum valve of the pipe fitting may not be installed with the aim of the cylinder with the UV, the transportation flammable chirogenic liquid. Each for the cylinder must be provided with one more pressure relief device that must be installed to maintain the compliance with the requirements of the subchapter. 7. Each pressure relief device must be installed located with a cooling effect for the contents preventing that will not prevent the effect of the operating of the device. All pressure relief devices in the maximum most of it under the maximum filling condition is situated with the vapor space for the code of the chirogenic receptacle of the code of the device may arrange to ensure they escape the vapor. The discharge and struck with the maximum weight of the contains for the cylinder. The design surface of exposure temps for the current colder than 320 degrees may not exceed the design weight and air on the cylinder. The pressure control system in each of the cylinder contained with the chirogenic liquid must have the pressure control system conform with 173 301 after the design install that is and prevent the cylinder from becoming liquid. Specification cylinder requirement: the filling unlimited with the specification .4L of the cylinder is our authorized the transportation chirogenic would require with the vertical position as follows. For purpose of this section, filling density except the hydrogen defined percent ratio weighting landing of the package. Packaging of weight of the water of the packaging holding 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The chirogenic liquid, the argon, nitrogen, oxide, helium, and neon must be loaded with the ship and corn with the following table. Alright, hydrogen, ammonia, minimum 95% para. Hydrogen must be loaded with the ship that's valve. Each of the cylinder must be with the constructed insulated with the main during the transportation. Total the rate of the vending, but it should not exceed 330 SCF hydrogen per unit. If the marketing requirement is 178.35 of the subchapter, total rate of the vending of the SCF per hour. Should be marked at the top of the head valve, protecting the lead with at least 1/2 inch for the valve vent rate with the SCF, the asterisk rate that will play with the number of reps with the only rate with the SCF per hour. Okay. Carriage of the highway and subject conditions specified 178, 840A. Subchapter, make sure the chirogenic liquid the charging requirement the down specified paragraph and prescribed paragraph C with this section. The chirogenic liquid must be shipped within packaging under the conditions of the approved associated administrator. 173.318 chirogenic liquid with the cargo tank. The general requirement of the cargo tank may be loaded with the chirogenic liquid over the design and serve the temperature of the packaging. Cargo tank may not be loaded with the aim of the material combined with the chemically residual packaging to produce unsafe conditions. C 178.338.15. The jacket covering the insulation tank of the transportation chirogenic liquid made of steel. Chirogenic liquid if the transport in the vessel, and C with the 176.76 of the G of the subchapter with the oxygen flammable material valve of the fitting. Made of aluminum internal rubbing and braiding with aluminum part of the main time in the contact with the chirogenic liquid form they not install the cargo tank of transportation cargo liquid with the part of the anodized according to the ASTM standard B58.580. Aluminum valve pipe with the fitting external jacket of the retained with loading and landing of the during transportation made not the install of the cargo tank of the transportation oxygen chirogenic liquid and flammable chirogenic liquid. Alright, I got the hiccups. Alright, cargo tank used, continuing tape, cargo tank used to transport oxygen chirogenic liquid. It must be provided with the manhole with the 178.333, subchapter of the pressure relief valve. Pressure system pressure control valve type of the pressure for the relief of the system tank for the oxygen flammable chirogenic liquid. Services except for the otherwise provided with the paragraph of each of the tank is the oxygen flammable chirogenic liquid. Service that must be protected with the two independent pressure for the relief systems which are not connected to the series, namely primary system with the one or more with the pressure relief valve, secondary system with one of the more flangeable disc with the pressure relief valve of the four tank of the carbon monoxide. So the secondary system must be pressure relief valve. The only tank in helium the atmospheric gap except for the oxygen chirogenic liquid if the tank with the helium atmospheric gap except for the oxygen chirogenic liquid and so the tank must be protected with at least one pressure relieving system positioning more the pressure relief valve with a combination one or more with the pressure relief valve with one or more with flangeable disc. Compatibility pressure relief system in the tank of the oxygen flame with the cryogenic liquid for the tank and the oxygen flame with the cryogenic liquid, the primary system and the secondary system of the pressure relief of the devices for the system A for the flow capacity for the greater than calculated applicable form in the paragraph 532 and paragraph 533 of the CGA 712 with the addition. The primary pressure relief system must have total flow capacity not exceeding 120% of the tank design pressure. The secondary pressure relief system must have the total flow of the capacity of the pressure not exceeding 150% of the tank design pressure. Flow capacity rate must be verified and marked by the manufacturer of the device in accordance with the CGA pamphlet 712. The tank of the helium and atmosphere, the oxygen cryogenic liquid services. For tanking a helium atmosphere with a gravity except for the oxygen cryogenic liquid pressure for the relief system must have the flow of the capacity of the equal to the greater than calculated the applicable form in the paragraph 532, 533 CGA pamphlet of the S12. The pressure relief system consists of the combination pressure of the relief valve with the frangible diff. The pressure of the relief of the valve must have the total van with the capacity equal to greater than calculated applicable form in the paragraph 4, 1, 10, 1, 2, 1, CGA pamphlet 7, 1, 2. The pressure relief system may have the flow of the total capacity of the pressure not exceeding 150% of the tank of the design pressure. Flow capacity rating must be verified and marked and manufactured to this value for the corner for the CGA pamphlet S12. Testing construction pressure of the relief device. Each pressure relief device must be designated with the constructive of the pressure equal to the tank design pressure, the cold, the temperature reasonably expected. The encounter pressure relief device must be either with a spring loaded pressure relief of the valve, the frangible diff. The pressure relief valve must be at the type of the automatically open and closed. The rate determined pressure. The setting of the pressure relief device on tank of the oxygen flame with the cryogenic liquid services of the pressure relief device must perform as well. Each of the pressure relief valve, the prominent relief system must have the set of the discharge pressure no lighter than 110% of the tank pressure. Each pressure relief device of the secondary pressure relief system must be designed with commensurate function of the pressure no later than 130%, no higher than 150% of the tank design pressure. One tank used in the helium atmosphere with gas and a oxygen cryogenic liquid pressure relief of the device. The pressure relief system must be designed to commence with the functioning no higher than 150% of the tank design pressure. Operating pressure relief device for the pressure control valve in addition to the required pressure relief device for the tank cryogenic liquid except for the carbon monoxide surface may be equipped with one or more of the following: one or more pressure for the control set for the pressure below the tank design pressure, one or more of the frangible diff set for the function pressure not less than 1/2 the time with more than 2 time of the tank design pressure, the maximum filling of the filing of the rate with the tank with the oxygen flammable cryogenic liquid, the maximum rate of the width of the tank must fill with the next with the liquid fuel capacity, the primary pressure of the relief of the system, and the rate of the pressure not exceeding 120% of the tank design pressure. On taking the helium, the atmospheric gravity, except for the oxygen cryogenic liquid, serves the maximum rate of each of the tank of the fill with the must exceed the liquid flow of the capacity. The pressure relief valve, the rate of the 150% of the tank of the design pressure arrangement, the location of the pressure relief device discharge directly upward with the sharp of the outside of the protection with the housing structure man with the vent implemented with the gas pump with the jacket and structural with the prevent and vehicle. Each pressure relief valve must be arranged to protect the prevent the accumulation form material between the relief valve of the atmosphere to discharge open with the aim of the relief of the piping. The arrangement that must be in the and pay the flow of the device and pressure relief valve must be designed located to minimize the possibility of tampering with the pressure setting. Adjusting with the external valve of the valve adjustment must be sealed with the pressure relief to allow the direct communication with the vapor shape of the tank with the mid link of the top center line with each of the pressure relief device and installed located during the cooling effect of the contents during the venting will not prevent effective operating of the device. All pressure relief valves inlet with the maximum filling with the condition may situate the vapor spray with the closed the aerogenic receptacle with the device. The range for the ensure the escape of the vapor, the discharge obstruct with the connect with each of the connection pressure relief valves must be sufficient size to allow required rate of the discharge through the pressure relief device, and light connection might not be less than 1/2 inch for the nominal pipe size. Shutoff valve may be installed with the pressure relief system only when the required relief capacity is provided at all times. Pressure relief device for the piping and the vacuum and insulated jacket. Each portion connected with the liquid piping hose glove with the belt and with the most pure valve with the hydrogen pressure relief valve with the intervening shutoff valve to check the valve permitting the flow of the pipe with the hose in the tank of the issue with the relief valves must be liquidated and prevent the discharge of the impinging within the tank of the piping operating personnel. Vacuum insulated with the cargo tank must be with a suitable relief device. The release of the internal pressure for the discharge air for the device must be at least 0.00024 square inches of the pressure pound of the water capacity tank of the relief device malfunction from the pressure not exceeding the internal design pressure for the jack of the calculated in accordance with the section A of the ASME code 25 psi gauge, whichever is less. 10. The tank and inlet without pressure relief device. The pressure control valve marking with each of the tank and inlet outlet except for the pressure relief device. The pressure control valves must be permanently marked indicating whether to communicate the vapor, the liquid within the tank with the fill with the maximum permanent of the filling density. Each pressure of the relief valve may be permanently and plainly permanently marked with the pressure of the PSI gauge in which the set to the discharge rate of the SCF per minute of the SCFM with the free air with the manufacturer made named the trade and catalog. Number of the markings set discharge pressure valve. The valve is installed in the position of the rated discharge capacity of the device must be determined at 120% of the design pressure tank. Each pressure control valve must be plainly permanently marked with the pressure for the PSI gauge and the set of the discharge wet and weight of landing. The requirement of the weight of the cryogenic liquid tank must be determined the weighing of the liquid level of the gauging device authorized 178.338.14a over the subchapter may not exceed lesser of the weight of the landing of the tank of the base on the water capacity stamp with the nameplate 178.338 with the 18A4 with the subchapter the appropriate maximum permanent of the following destiny following and paragraph F of the section maximum weight of the landing of the which with the cargo tank with the designated of the marked in the specification plate C 178.338 with the 18B with the tapper outage of the an outage except for the cargo tank that came in the helium cryogenic liquid cargo tank out off of the transportation must have the outage of at least 2% of the inlet pressure for the relief device pressure control valve under condition implemented opening with the tank at the level to add to the temperature of the flame of the cryogenic liquid cargo tank with the start of the travel to make the temperature of sufficient cold and pressure setting with the pressure control valve the required pressure relief valve with whichever level is not marked when less reach for the less time of the mark rate with the high holding time of the cryogenic liquid the paragraph the G3 of the section 178 338.9 with the subchapter specification MC 338 with the subject of the cargo tank is authorized shipment with the following with the cryogenic liquid subject to the following additional requirements. For purposes of section filling, the density defined with the percent of the ratio of the weighing of the tank of the weight of the water with which hold the device designed for the temperature for the 1 pound of water to the 27.737 cubic inch of the 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 gallon of water, 231 cubic inch of the 60 degrees Fahrenheit, or weight of 8.32828 pounds, air, argon, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, cryogenic liquids, the liquid loaded shipped in with the following table. Carbon monoxide, hydrogen, minimum 80 to 95% power, hydrogen, ethanol, methanol, natural gas, cryogenic liquids must be loaded and shipped in with the following table. Mixture for the cryogenic liquid with the requirements not specifically prescribed by the paragraph of the F of the cryogenic liquid ship with the impact with the under condition for the proof with the associated administrator. 1 travel time with the mark of the jack of the cargo tank of the UV the transport flame of the cryogenic liquids must be marked on the right side of the front with the letter of the numbers of the 2 inches high, 1-way travel time of the hours in which the blank with the number to indicate the one of the travel time, 1-way travel time of the hour of the cryogenic tank with the name of the liquid cryogenic liquid transported and cargo tank that is partially unloaded with 1 or more locations of additional market. The 1-way travel time blank per hours by PSI gauge per percent filling density with the second blank fill with the permanent pressure existing after partially unload with the third blank fill with the set with the discharge pressure with the control valve with the pressure relief valve with the 4 blank with the filling density following the unload with the multiple 1-way travel time marked with the different pressure level with permanent with the operation on 1-way traveling time may be used to play with the words 1-way travel time with which the mark with the required with the paragraph the OWTT based on the mark for the rated holding time of the cargo tank with the cryogenic liquid transport of the cargo tank with the marked rail or rated holding time for the flame with cryogenic liquid down display with the Jason specification plate with the marked rated holding time may be derived with the marked rating holding time for an 1-way traveling time in hours is 14 of the marked rail rated holding time the 72 hours left 1-way travel time of the mark rated holding time of the 924 divided by 2 14 of the mark rated holding time greater than 72 hour the 1-way travel time equal to the mark rating holding time minus 48. Each cargo tank and motor vehicle will use the transportation label cryogenic may be explained examine the each shipment that determine the actual holding time of the record required 177.848 the subchapter may be used with the determination after examination indicated the actual holding time of the cargo tank may adjusting of the reflect for the average ambient temperature of the 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 to 90% of the mark rating holding time. Cryogenic liquid mark and specification play with the adjacent layer of the 178.338 with 18B with the subchapter tank of the main not be refilled with the flammable cryogenic liquid to restore with the mark with the rated holding time available to remark with the actual marked rate of the holding time determine the examination name of the flammable cryogenic liquid. Holding time and display with the adjacent specification plane with the requirement may be with the driving mark rating holding time of cargo tank with the flammable cryogenic liquid comparing with the mark rating holding time the actual holding time adjustment. 173.319 the cryogenic liquid in the tank with the cover with the general requirements tank with the container with the flammable cryogenic may be shipped and left loaded with the consent of the owner of the tank of the car. The amount of the flammable cryogenic liquid loaded in the tank of car must be determined either by the direct measurement of the calculation based on weight of the verify the tank that has not been filled with the level over the excess of the limits are specified in paragraph D2 of the section weight of the flammable cryogenic liquid loaded with exact hydrogen must be checked either the scale of the disconnecting loading line. Shippers may not notify the Federal Air Administration whenever the tank of the car containing the flammable cryogenic liquid is not received from by a consignor within 20 days of the day of the shipment of the notification for Air Radio Ministry of the Main doing the HMS of the gov the telephone 202-493-6245. Tanker car may not be loaded with any flammable cryogenic liquid that may be containing the chemically and residual tank of the residual unsafe condition color will in the design of the temperature of the tank. If an average daily pressure of the ride of the tank is seen 30 psi gauge jump of the prior shipment and left the mark with the name of the content of the corners with 172-330 with the subchapter. When the tanker car containing flammable cryogenic liquid off for the transportation, at least half the percent of the outage of the provide with the inlet of the pressure relief valve, pressure of the control valve, start discharge pressure, setting the valve of the tanker car's level of attitude, the absolute pressure of the manual space for the must have at least 75 microns of mercury, temperature flammable cryogenic liquid must be loaded into the tank so the temperature of the average daily pressure of the rise during the transportation will not exceed 3 psi gauge. Class .113 tank of the car is authorized for the shipment of the cryogenic liquid subject to the following additional requirements for the purpose of the section. Filling the density of the defined with the percent of the ratio of the weight, ratio of the weight, landing with the weight of the water with the tank of the holding design surface with the 1 pound of water, 27.737 cubic of 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 gallon of water, 231 cubic inches for the 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 8.3 through 8.82 pound of the ethanol, hydrogen minimum 95% higher hydrogen cryogenic liquid must be loaded and shipped in accordance with the following table. Pressure control valve setting, relief valve settings. Special requirements of that 113 tank cars as class of that 113 even not the periodically pressure test. However, the test should be mounted to determine the average pressure relied at the tank for the average daily pressure rising during the shipment exceeds 0.2 bars or 3 psi gauge per day. The tank must be tested for the thermal integrity prior to any subsequent shipment of the thermal integrity of the test of the requirement paragraph the E1 section. Either of the following thermal integrity must be used. The pressurized testing. The pressurized testing tank must not exceed 3,400 3,400 of the bar with the 24 hour of the pressure for the rise of the test for the performed absolute pressure of the annular space for the load of the tanker car might not exceed 75 microns mercury for the beginning of the test and 99 for the 25 microns during the 24-hour period. Calculated heat test transfer rate test insulated must be with the performance tested and prescribed 179-404 with the chapter for the calculated heat transfer of the test for the performance absolute pressure of the annular space load tank may not exceed 75 microns beginning with the test of the may not increase to 25 microns in the 24-hour day with the calculated heat transfer of the 24 hours may not exceed 124% average appropriate standard heat transfer specified in 179-401 subchapter .113 A6V W.113 C120 W 122.808 joules BTU daily pound. The inner tank of the capacity with the .113 A175 W tanker cars 3.3452 and 2.15 joule. The inner tanker car water capacity of that 113 C60W 1113 D60W tanker cars or 509 joule of the inner tank of the car water capacity of that 113 D120 tanker car. Tanker cars fail with the test of described in paragraph E of the section must be to remove the hazard materials of the tanker car. Remove the hazard material surfaces because it failed the test prescribed in E2 of the section that may not be used in transport hazard material and left the tanker car forms the applicable requirements for the subchapter. Each ruptured disc must be replaced with every 12 months. For the replacement tape must be marked on the car near the pressure relief valve with the information. Pressure relief valve. The alternating pressure relief valve must be tested every 5 years. The starts of the discharge pressure vapor type of the pressure requirements for pressure relief valves must be specified in 179-401 of the subchapter. Alternating pressure relief valve devices specified in 179 401 subchapter .113 CW120 W tanker car applying with the .113 D120 W tanker car. 173-320 cryogenic liquid exemptions. Atmosphere, the gasoline, helium, cryogenic liquid, dewar flask of the insulator with the cylinder, insulated portable tank with the insulated cargo tank with the insulated tank for the car's design. Construct with the pressure and stuff with the package of the 19, the 25.3 of the PSI gate, the ambient temperature during transportation, not the requirements of the subchapter of the transport or motor vehicle with the ray car except for the specified in paragraph A1 A2 with the section 171-15 and 16 subchapter protecting the reporting an incident but not including the relief of the result of ending with the pressure control valve with the neck with the dewar flask. Subpart A, B, C, D, G, H for the part 172, 174, 24 rail 177, A, 17 with the highway with the additional part 172 with the interior for the oxygen. Subpart A and B with the part 173, 174, 177, and 800, 804, 823 of the shaft. The requirements of the subpart do not apply with the atmospheric gases helium during loading and unloading operation. Pressure of the rise of the United States C23.5 PSI gauge when using in operation, but rather the refrigeration system pressure is not exceeding 25.3 gauge. Transportation aboard aircraft of the ICAO. Technical instruction, packaging instruction 202, packaging specification part 6 chapter 5. 173 321 ethanol must be packaged as filed on 1A1 drums must not meet the packing group performance level requirements. And specification cylinders prescribed by any compressed gas except the settling. All right, 173.322. Ethyl chloride. Ethyl chloride must be packed with any of the following signal combination, not both with the package within the immediate packing group. The performance level, the requirements 1C1, 1C2, 4D, 4F, wooden box with fiber, with glass, either earthenware with metal inner of the receptacle with 500 grams of capacity. Each of the WG with fiber wood glass, either metal inner receptacles not over 500 grams of capacity other than packaging not exceeding 30 kilograms. And 1A1 drum is not over the 100 liters of capacity. If the specification cylinders are prescribed and compressed gas except for the acetylene and cylinders made of the aluminum alloy but not authorized and capacity under the following conditions. The mass of the gas must not exceed 150 grams per capsule. The capsule must be free of the fault liable to impair with the strength of the leak of the proof. And technically, the closure must be maintained. Secondary, remove the capable of preventing any of the leak of the closure while in the transportation. The capsule must be plated with strong outer packaging, suitable to the contents, but not exceed with the gross weight of the 165 pounds. 173.323 ethyl oxide packaging. Ethyl oxide with non-pulp packaging, silver mercury, the LLH. Copper may not be used in over the packaging valve. The other packaging improvements, even the part with the during normal conditions transportation, may come in contact. Ethyl oxide liquid of vapor. The copper alloys may be used when the gas mixture does not contain free acetylene with the concentration that will. From copper acetylene with all the packaging gas, give the control for the material with the cable compatible with the ethyl oxide, but do not lower the auto ignition temperature for the ethyl oxide. But the ethyl oxide must be packaged in one of the following: has hermetically sealed with glass. The metal inner packaging suitably crushed in one outer packaging with the authorized 123. 201B. Maximum quantity of the permitted glass inner packaging 100 grams of the 3.5 ounce of the maximum quantity of the permitted metal inner packaging 340 grams 12 ounces. After filling each of the inner packaging, show the determined leak type of placing the inner packaging in the hot water bath of the temperature is before for a period of time sufficient, ensure that the internal pressure equal to the vapor pressure of the ethanol oxide of the 55 degrees Celsius achieved. The quantity to any of the outer packaging should not exceed 100 grams of 3.5 ounces of the total quantity of the outer package containing only the metal inner packaging should not exceed 2.5 kilograms of 5.5 packages pound of each of the completed packages must complete with the completing all packaging group 1 performance testing. Alright, in specification cylinders, human pressure receptacle authorized the ink with the pressure gap of the gas acetylene with the pressure valve of the insulation with the required with the cylinder 4 lead with the capacity of the educative 2 with the must provide with the cylinder of the 19 leading lead with the cylinders must have the seamless way of the welds seal non-brave the normal capacity no more than 115 liters that may not be the liquid fuel before 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Each refilling of the cylinder must be tested with the liquid down left than 103 15 psi gauge pressure. The diff in the cylinder may be equipped with the fusible type of the relief device that yield the temperature of 157 degrees Fahrenheit to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. The capacity of the relief device, the effect of the insulation must be used for the charged cylinder but not exploded. With the test of the method described in TGP pamphlet 6014 with the equivalent method of 1 steel drum no more than 231 liters of the medium package group 1 performance standards. The drum must be lagged with a welded constructed with the inner shell that have the minimum thickness of the 68,000 inch. Out of the shell have the minimum thickness of 95,000 inch. Drum must be made compatible with the same hydrostatic pressure of the 100 psi gauge lag. There must be sufficient thickness of the drum when filled with ethanol oxide. Equipped with the required pressure relief device that will not rupture the explosive fire of the drum. May not be liquid above the 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Must be marked with the end of the top head of the breast for each for the refilling. Each drum must be tested with the leakage but not less than a 15 psi gauge. Each drum must be equipped with the fusible type of the relief device that yield the temperature of 157 and 170 degrees Fahrenheit. The capacity of the relief device must be such fill the drum capable of passing without the rupture of the test and described in the CGA pamphlet C14 of their equivalent method. 172.101 subchapter to specify the hazard material pack of the intersection only the following bulk packs for the authorized subject requirements of subpart A and B with the special provision specified in column 7 with the 172.101 paragraph D with the through J with the selection. Tanker cars class at 105 tanker cars. Each tanker car must before 1/16/2009 must have the tank test pressure for the 300 psi gauge. Except for providing 173.314D with the tank of the cars built on and after March 16, 2009. UV transportation ethanol oxide must be with the application authorized tank specification listed in the table 173.314 cryogenic tank with specified an MC330 and 331 cargo tank motor vehicle. The portable tank dot 51 portable tank pressure relief device must meet the 75 psi gauge portable tanks filled with an reclipping device made any of the prior to December 31st, 1987. That may continue to use the ethanol oxide service. In determining hours for the consideration must give it in landing of the determining the temperature for the solid of the inert gas padding of the ethanol oxide was well with the partial pressure exerted with the gas padding. Each tank loaded and empty must be padded with a dry nitrogen suitable interest with the sufficient quantity of the rendered vapor spray with the tank non-flammable to 105 degrees Fahrenheit with the gas with the padding the free with the impurity with which make up the ethanol oxide polymers are decomposed under a violent chemical reaction. Copper, silver, the mercury with the magnesium of their alloys may be used in any part of the tank of the prunes if the normal in contact with the landing. natural rubber. The asbestos gas is prohibited. All packaging gas must be made of material that does not work with the lower auto ignition temperature of the landing. Each tank must be installed with a cork of the mineral wool, fiberglass, other suitable insulation material sufficient thickness with the thermal conductivity of 60 degrees Fahrenheit, no more than 75,000 BTUs per square foot of the degree with a 5% of Fahrenheit. Temperature of the difference of portable tanks may be used prior to December 31st, 1987. Then equipped with the full usable plug-in shovel, the pressure relief valve with the rupture disc must have sufficient insulation from the tank of the hill with the shipment with the non-rush with the fire with the insulation of portable tank of the car tank of motor vehicles must be 1/10 of an inch thick of it is required with the specification. Tank cars must be built with after December 30th, 1971 may be equipped with a thermometer well. Alright. 173, 334, 333, organic phosphate mixed with a compressed gas. Hexyl tetraphosphate, paraethanol, tetraethanol, diethanol phosphate, tetraethanol prophosphate, and division 6-1 organized phosphate, including compound mixture that may be mixed with non-flammable compressed gas. The mixture that may not contain more than 20% of the weight of the organic phosphate must be packed in .3A240, 3AA240, 3B240, 4B 240, 4BA 240, 4B W240 UN cylinder made with the following requirements. Each cylinder may be filled with not more than 11 pounds with a mixture with a maximum filling density of not more than 80% of the water. With the non-cylinder may be equipped with the education tube with a fusible plug. No cylinder may be equipped with the aim of the valve. Left the valve, the type of the proof of the associated cylinders may be overpacked with the box shape with the strong with the other packaging conforming requirements 173.25 range to protect each of the valve with other closing by the damage should accept the provided paragraph. The E of the section no more than 4 cylinders may be packed in strong outer packaging. The strong outer packaging with the device of the protection sufficient strong to protect all the parts of each of the cylinder deformation of the leakage and of the complete package and 6 feet of non-yielding surface, especially for the concrete steel and impacting the packaging weakest point. Cylinders which pack the trunk with a wooden valve with the other closing devices. Paratape the damage would not move more than 12 cylinders than one outside of the wooden box. Outer fiber to glass must be either no more than 4 cylinders. Stuff the cylinder with the shifting pack with the valve must be adequate to protect the box valve. Protection must be sufficient to strength to protect all parts of the inner pack of the valve. Deformation break the result of the dropping at least 6 feet onto the non-yielding surface of the concrete impact with the weakest point. 173, 335, the chemical under the pressure. General requirements. Cylinder with a chemical under pressure must have the transportation requirements section 172.301 subchapter. In addition to the specification, cylinder must meet the requirements of 173.301A, 302, 302A, 305A. The applicable UN pressure receptacle must meet the requirements of 173.301B, 302B, but then 304B. But the applicable more than one section apply with the cylinder. Must restrict the requirements of the valve filling limits. Cylinders must be able to at least 120 degrees Fahrenheit non-gaseous phase that does not exceed 95% of the water capacity. If they are not completely filled with 140 degrees Fahrenheit, filled with an internal pressure of 149 degrees Fahrenheit must not exceed the test pressure of the cylinder. The vapor pressure of the valve metric expansion of the substance of the cylinder must be taken into account. Minimum surface pressure. The minimum surface pressure must exceed the accordance with the design specification part 178 of the proponent, indicate the minimum test pressure for the time of the D20 par. Periodic inspection, maximum requalification test period with the transportation chemical under pressure of the NOS 5 years. 173, 336 nitrogen dioxide, liquid D, nitrogen tetraxide, liquid nitrogen dioxide, liquid nitrogen tetraxide, liquid must be packed with the specification UN cylinders prescribed with 173, 192. The valves are not authorized UN tables with the MEGC, but they're not authorized for the use of the cylinders must be equipped with the stainless steel valve with the valve seat with the deteriorated in contact with the nitrogen dioxide. If the valve must be opened with the solid metal with the tape of the thread only partially open to prevent leak with the transportation. 3AL cylinder with authorized only highway and rail. Each UN pressure receptacle must be clean with the accordance with the requirements of the ISO 11621. Each of the data specification cylinders must be clean with the accordance with the requirements GSA with this federal specification RRC 901D, paragraph 331, 332, cleaning of this agent with equivalent to the specified in the RC 901D may be used, however, any of the cleaning agent must be capable of the reacting, not be capable of reacting with oxygen. One cylinder with a select with a random group of 200 pure clean at the same time with the test only with the contamination of the age specification RRC 901D. The paragraph 3432 meets the standard cleanliness specification therein. Trying to 173, 337. The nitric oxide. The nitric oxide must be packed with the cylinder to conform with the requirements with 173, 40 with the valve of the dot specification similar to dot 3A, 1800 3A, 1800 3A, 1800 3A, 1800 cylinder dot specification cylinder must be with the pressure not more than 750 psi, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Transportation nitric oxide dot 3AL cylinders out of the right with the high rail with the UN cylinder minimum test pressure with the 200 bar with the maximum working pressure with the cylinder 9, even the 50 bar with the measure cylinder with the 149 degrees Fahrenheit. Max C with the test pressure with the UN table with the MEGC with the authorized valve with the cylinder must be equipped with the stainless steel valve with the valve C with the not deteriorate the contact with the nitric oxide cylinder of the valve will not be equipped with the pressure relief device at any type of the UN cylinder must be clean in accordance with the requirements of ISO 11621. 1. If the DOT specification cylinders must be clean in compliance with the ones of GSA for Federal Specification RRC 901D paragraph 331. 332 cleaning agent equivalent of specified in the Federal Specification RRC 901D with the U with the however the aim of the cleaning agent must not be capable of reacting with the oxygen one cylinder selected random from the group of 200 fewer the clean at the same time of the test of the oil contamination according with the Federal Specification RRC 901 paragraph 432 to meet the standard cleanliness specified therein. All right, 338. Tungsten hexafluoride. Tungsten hexafluoride must be packed with specification 3A, 3AA, 3BN, 3E. Cylinders must be equipped with valve protection package with the pack with the stronger outpack with the meeting with the provision 17340 with the outside with the ending of the valve with the mate with the cap of the plug with the any alternative with the cylinder opening with must be closed with the using metal plug. Specification 3E cylinder must be shipped with over the back with the meat with the provision of the 17340 and the plate with the volumetric expansion tab with the dot 3BN 3BN with the cylinder with the explosive with the strip with the given with the complete with the external visual inspection from the conformity of the part 180 subpart C subchapter each time of the periodic requalification become with the cylinder with the undergo with the complete external visual inspection plate with the volumetric expansion test must be condemned within the room with the tungsten hexafluoride surface 173.340. Tear gas device. The packaging with the gas device that must be approved prior to the initial transportation associated. Ensure the tear gas device may not be assembled or packed with the same with the packaging, the mechanical, the manually operative firing, the igniting, the bursting, and the other functional elements unless the type and design which has been approved. The associated administrative tear gas, the grenade, the tear gas, the candle assembler device for the packaging. One of the line packaging conforming the requirements of the part 178 subchapter of the packaging group 2 performance level. And UN 4A, 4B, 4N metal block for the UN 4C1, 4C2, 4D, 4F metal shaped wooden block for the 4 function elements not assembled. The grenade devices must be separately compartmented. These box for the inner the separate of the outer box for the UN 4C1, 4C2, 4D, 4F must be packed in cushion, but they may not contain any other of the wall of the box for during transportation. No more than 50 tear gas devices. 50 functional elements must be packed in one box with the gross weight of the outer back for 1977 pounds. UN 1A1, 1B2, 1N2 with the 1H2 drum with the functional elements must be packed in separate area of the packaging compartment. No more than 24 tear gas of the device and 24 functional elements only packed in an outer drum. Gross weight of the drum may exceed 77 pounds. And the UN4G fiberboard box for the inside tear gas device with the specification 2B, 2K with each for the inside, but it must be played with the fiberboard tubes available with the metal and with the fiber box. Suitable padding no more than 300 internal packages that must be packed with one outer box with the gross weight of the outer box may exceed 385 pounds. The inner other packaging type with the design within the approved of the associated administrator. Tear gas device shipped to complete with the assembly offered with the design with the U.S. Department of Device project to provide with a functional element packed with the kinetics excellently function outer packaging with the UN 4A, 4B, 4N material of the UN 4C1, 4C2, 4D, 4F material metal strap. Wooden boxes. Subpart H reserved.